Batman is introduced to the audience after pedaling his bicycle back to his house. Keep this scene, remember. Now, we see his wife, Melinda, sitting just outside the front door of the house, and she is looking at him with astonishment. It feels like there is something going wrong with both of them. The following scene reveals that they are already parents to a young girl. Her mother is being quite obnoxious and starts yelling at her while she is listening to a song. The man walks into the room, where his wife is waiting for him, and asks him to help her pick out a dress. A little bit later, his wife asks him to get her black shoes for her, and he gladly complies with her request. Therefore, in a nutshell, this man will do anything his wife instructs him to do. Soon, they attend a party, where he and his wife, together with their pals, drink some beer and converse with one another. Melinda recognizes her long-lost buddy Joe and immediately strikes up a conversation with him. It does not take Melinda very long to lead her friend into a private area, and once they are alone, they begin kissing. It seems like Melinda doesn't care about her married life. Batman is aware of everything that is going on. And Melinda continues to indulge in her act, although they occasionally catch glances at each other. Melinda notices that this is not enough to get everyone's attention, so just for attention, she dances while perched on a piano. Immediately after that, she begins to play the piano, which immediately brings a smile to everyone's face. Batman gives her a friendly smile as if nothing out of the ordinary has occurred, despite the strange things she does. Later, Joe thanked Batman for letting him visit Melinda. Batman wants him to remember Martin McRae, who has been disappeared recently, because he also doing the same thing with Batman's wife, as Joe did earlier. Batman threatens Joe that it won't be a joke if he keeps making the same mistake. Feeling threatened, Joe leaves immediately. Seeing this, Batman's wife, Melinda, is upset by his behavior toward her friend. After the party, at home, Melinda enters the kitchen without her top while Batman is talking to their babysitter. Batman finds this offensive and tries to shoo Melinda away, but this irritates her and she leaves. Melinda's character is explored in depth, and it becomes clear that she is a thoughtless and self-centered individual, who just loves to get attention from anyone, especially attractive ones. On the other hand, Batman enjoys the pastime of raising snails as pets. A few days later, Batman gets together with his buddies, and at this time he learns that everyone is aware of how he threatened Joe by telling him a Martin McRae joke. They also explain that Melinda is a sick lady because of the things that she performs in front of everyone to seek attention. When Melinda comes back to her house, she finds out about what happened and tells Batman that he should apologize to Joe. On Friday, she would like to have him over for supper as an apology. Friday has arrived, and when Joe knocks on Batman's door, he finds Batman greeting him warmly. Because he is anxious, he inquires as to whether or not Melinda is at home, to which Batman once more jokes that she is not at home. After some time has passed, Batman reveals to him that they are going to talk while eating some seafood. On the other hand, he finds out that Joe has a seafood allergy. Melinda most certainly was aware of this, but she never disclosed this information to Batman. Later on, at the table, Batman prepares a grilled cheese sandwich for Joe, and Melinda also begins making the sandwich. She instructs Batman to put her daughter to bed and read her stories before she goes to sleep. Batman has just finished telling his daughter a bedtime story, when he later comes across the duo having some fun together. To make a distraction, Batman drops a plate. Noticing this gesture, Melinda tries to trick Batman to sleep early, and she will be joining soon. But that doesn't work this time. After some time has passed, Joe anticipates that Batman should have apologized to him for making a joke to him about killing Martin McRae. In response, Batman informs him that he is not in on the joke. Following day, at a party, Batman and Melinda are having a conversation with a writer. He insults him by calling him a murderer and making jokes about Martin McRae. To create jealousy, Batman starts dancing with another woman, which makes Melinda envious and she compares herself to the other ladies. She also makes an effort to engage in activities with Batman when he is behind the wheel. Next day, when Batman and Melinda are sitting on the sidelines watching their daughter play, he is contacted by his bank, and the conversation revolves around Melinda's bank account. He finds out that she sent $3,000 to a person who plays the piano, and he immediately begins conducting additional research on this person. After a bit of research, he winds up with a person who is both an accomplished musician and an exceptionally attractive person. Right then and there, he also comes face to face with Melinda, who is flirting with him. In the evening, Batman sees his wife's ring, and at the same time, news of Martin McRae also flashes on TV. Then, Batman confronts Melinda, and inquires about her whereabouts. It appears as though she has been drinking, but she told him everything she did that day. Batman shares news of Martin McRae, which makes her sad. Next day, While he was driving his daughter to her house, he sees the pianist carrying flowers. And the same flowers are displayed in his house on the same day. He is once more worried that his wife, Melinda, is carrying on another affair behind his back with pianist. He spends most of his time at home, while his wife is out there toiling away. She starts staying out all night long without coming home and using his money to cheat on him. Batman confronts her about her early behavior, but she is completely preoccupied with her sentiments, and she doesn't care about the emotions he is experiencing. One evening, she goes so far as to tell Batman that she has a wonderful nighttime with the pianist. And this hurts our Batman. He wasn't expected this. Next week, Melinda invites the guy to their party and introduced him as Charlie. Where Batman and he shake hands. To make Batman more jealous, she did some irresponsible dance moves in front of everyone. Of course, Batman doesn't like it. Evening comes, Batman searches for Melinda, but in the house, he sees her with Charlie. He is broken inside. After some time, watching her with Charlie in the swimming pool makes him more damaged inside. Rain drives everyone indoors. And outside, only Batman and Charlie are left in the pool. Inside, they find themselves beginning to enjoy the celebration once more. Melinda goes looking for the pianist even though she can't find him anywhere and worries about him. She starts shrieking as she discovers that he is already drowned in the pool. Upon seeing this, everyone rushes outside to attempt to pull him from the water and bring him back to life, but unfortunately, neither of these things is successful. As soon as the police began their investigation, Melinda immediately began to blame Batman, her husband, for the crime. The police begin to interview Batman about the incident, but during their conversation, they do not discover anything suspicious. Later on, he inquires of Melinda regarding her level of fear regarding him. She claims that she has nothing to worry about because he killed them all because of her. In a later scene, when Batman is riding his bicycle, he has a recurring dream in which he sees Melinda with another man. Later on, they invite their pals to dinner. He tells his friend to stop spreading the murder rumor. One day while walking, Batman found hidden cameras in his wife's car. He notices that his wife is in the company of a man who introduces himself as a psychologist. After some time has passed, he confronts his friend and told the friend's wife that he and Batman's wife together hire a private investigator to look into his activities. The result of which is that the pair are yelling at each other. Later, Batman finds out that Melinda has started seeing another man after the loss of Charlie to fulfill her loneliness. Batman starts spying on them and starts searching more about the man. One day, Tony, a friend of Melinda's, eventually crosses paths with Batman. Melinda has arrived at the house, and upon seeing Tony, she hugs him as if he is her spouse. During their conversation, she also admits to Batman that the first American she dated. Tony bursts out laughing out of nowhere and becomes red in the face. After seeing everything, Batman seemed to be feeling unhappy. Because no man like his wife talking about another man. In the later part of the evening, people begin to play enjoyable music and enjoy the cuisine. They start dancing in front of Batman in a manner that is not proper at all. When Batman goes to his bedroom on the second floor, he runs into them there. He notices that she is going about her routine activities, and they both gaze at each other. A few days from now, Batman persuades Tony that Melinda wants to meet him and forces him to sit inside his Jeep. He takes him to a location that is remote in comparison to the metropolis. He won't stop questioning him about his past relationships, especially with Melinda. After they had gotten out of the car, he proceeded to throw a heavy rock at him. When Batman decides to end his life, it does not take him very long to accomplish so. Immediately following the act in which he places a huge boulder on top of his body and then submerges him in water so that no one can see him. Following the occurrence, he goes back to his house in good spirits. The next day, they decide to have a picnic in the same spot where he dumped Tony the day before. After some time, he makes the unexpected discovery that the body can be seen afloat on the river. In the evening, finally, she confesses her love for Batman. The following day, he returns to the same location to correct his earlier mistake. During this time, Melinda can locate Tony's wallet within Batman's place of business. Batman is attempting to lower Tony's body into the water when all of a sudden, Batman's friend walks into view, who earlier hired an investigator to spy on Batman. He questions him over his behavior, and all of a sudden, he notices a hand emerging from the water. When his friend sees this, he immediately begins to flee, and Batman immediately begins to follow him on his bicycle. After a considerable amount of time has passed during the pursuit, the elderly guy is eventually involved in a collision. When Batman returns to his house, the scene that we saw at the movie's beginning is repeated for us to watch. In addition, we discover that Melinda placed Tony's identification document into the fire without informing the authorities. Here is where the film comes to a close. That was such a movie that you have never seen. Batman's wife's behavior makes Batman crazy to do such psycho things. Hope you enjoy the movie. For a movie like this, please consider like and subscribe.